Hello everyone! So today I'm going to be talking about a synth that I didn't know much about, but I knew of it, and I feel that a lot of people have that kind of impression, and this is going to be a two-part video. This part one is going to be just a journey of reparation and spoiler alert, how I fixed and brought this synth back to life, and part two is going to be an in-depth overview on and review of the entire synth, because there's a lot of sound examples of this synth but not a lot of in-depth reviews that we can see nowadays for modern synths, and that's something that I would like to actually change so that people can have a resource where to find these things. But first things first, the background of the Korg MS2000, specifically the one that I got. There was an ad that was selling a really battered up Korg MS2000 quite cheaply, and there was two keys that were broken and some buttons missing. It was covered with stickers and really dirty and blah. But the guy said that it worked. Picked up the synth, couldn't test it because the guy didn't have a power supply. I find the right power supply, plug it in, and it starts smelling really badly. I open it up and I see that the power circuit has been blown before. When I let the current go through, it was going through the stuff that was already broken, and it was now burning other elements as well. Korg doesn't put safety diodes in their circuit boards. Fantastic on their part. I contacted the guy, it's fried. He said like, yeah, I don't want it, just keep it, I'll give you your money back. So I ended up with broken ass piece of Korg MS2000 that looked totally janky. I tried to fix the motherboard, but that was impossible because the multi-layering was fried. The only fix was to actually find the complete brand new or used motherboard that works. It's really difficult to find. Fast forward 2 years, on Reaver.com there was a motherboard that appeared. I bought it, no guarantees, right? You don't know what you're gonna get. So I got the new motherboard, and let's see how that whole thing went. Alright, so here is the Korg, and it's in the current state. So now it has been cleaned up, the stickers have been gone off, and I replaced the keys that were broken, and everything's been cleaned up. There's a couple of missing knobs. But yeah, mainly it doesn't work because the main board is fried. So I'm gonna open it up now, and yeah, I'm gonna show you how the old board looks like. I'm gonna put in the new board, and yeah, let's see what happens. Yep, you open it up by getting rid of these screws. Yeah, the sides as well. Alright, so let's first get rid of the sides. Right, so sides are off. Now let's take it from the back. Well, not exactly take it from the back, but you know what I mean. Now this is free to move, or not exactly. Let's try this guy here. These indented ones are for the keyboard, so I'm gonna keep those. And this, I think, is the motherboard. I'm gonna carefully turn it around. Let's see what we get. Yes. So now that's done. So the sides, back, and two screws on the bottom. And now carefully opening it up. Okay, I'm gonna open it up from the other side. If I simply lift it up, you'll be able to see it's the heart of the Korg. This is the main board. That's the one that does everything, and this is the control board, and it just talks. So first things first, get rid of the connectors, and then take the board out, put in the new one, connect it back in, fire it up, and see what happens. I have to disconnect pretty much everything. So this one definitely can be put backwards, and the first pin is not marked, but my guide is going to be that the printed is inside. So that's that. And now the main board is free. and I can disconnect it via these surface mount screws that are on the back. And there's like 4 of them? No, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just do that. This is the motherboard, now free. There we go. So you can see how burnt that is. So I tried to fix it, but unfortunately this is burnt through on several layers. So this motherboard is kind of screwed. I mean, I even replaced I put in new capacitors and everything here, the whole section here replaced, but it still doesn't work. And yeah, because it fried really, really badly. So unfortunately, nothing I can do with this one, but you know, if the other one works, then I have some spare parts from this one, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so let's get the new board. This is the new board, so let's be very, very careful with it. And let's compare to the old one that we got the same thing. KLM 2167, 2167, and everything seems to be good. So let's try it now. So now I'm gonna put it in, and yeah, let's see what we get. Alright, the new board is in, and now to reconnect everything. So, everything seems to be hooked up. Now the motherboard is in, so now we're gonna flip it around and yeah. Alright, so let's get the power supply and see what happens. Let's see. Spoiler alert. Oh my god, it fired up. It works. It is alive. It is blinking. This is very promising, because I gotta explain, I never had this thing working, so I have no idea if there's anything else that's wrong with it. So actually I'm gonna grab my headphones and test it. So just a second. It's been 5 minutes. I just wanted to try it, but it actually all works. So I was just trying it, but I already started to fiddle around and actually play around with it, and this thing is seriously a lot of fun. So I see why some people love it, I see why some people actually hate it, and I can't wait to actually spend some time with it, but it actually works. So let's turn the ARP on. Let's bring this closer. Oh, this is lovely. Hey, I haven't actually tested out if all the keys work. This one doesn't. Okay, so that doesn't work. demo. This thing is really interesting. And it reminds me of Radius, but it seems like it has a bit more oomph as far as the sound goes, but it's the same type of thinking. So let's see if it works if I turn it off. Now turn it back on. Korg MS2000. Single step. Works! Success! So that was actually awesome. I really love how it sounds, and it's very, very, very time consuming type of synth, because it just wants you to tweak it and to make sounds and to play and to have fun. It's a very, very fun synth. When I was testing it, you noticed that one of the keys was not working, so I had to do another session of seeing what was wrong with that and basically making sure to fix so that that key works as well. So let's check that out. I noticed that this one here doesn't work, so I marked these two, and I'm gonna now disassemble the keypad and double check and see what's what, if it's something very serious or if it's something that a good cleanup can actually just fix it up. So let's do that, and it's quite easy to actually dismantle this because the recessed holes on the bottom, I'll show you, they're the ones holding the keyboard, so you don't have to really disassemble everything. You can just carefully pull it out. So let's do that. So on the bottom here, you can see these recessed guys. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 screws together, and only those 6 you need to actually remove in order to loosen up the keyboard. But be aware, since you're probably going to be doing it upside down like this, once they're loose, please hold the keyboard so it doesn't fall, because it's actually connected inside to the motherboard, and you don't want that. No, 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 no. The keyboard is now loose, and the way you take it out is first gently lift it up and then towards you. Not with one hand, so I'm not going to do it with one hand, but it's up until both corners are loose and then towards you. So let's do that. And you end up with a loose keyboard bed, which is still hooked up to the motherboard, so be careful with that, don't pull too far. And this is more than plenty for me to actually take this and investigate what's wrong with this little key here. Alright, so I took the key out, and here's the actual contact. So basically the way it works is this key presses on the contact, and I double checked this other one as well, just to see that I have a good key. This one works, so that's why this one is loose. But most importantly, if I press on this bushing, it works. So that means that it's not a circuit board, which is excellent, and it's just something mechanical, as in that the key for some reason is not pressing this one. So I'm just going to investigate that. It might be a simple case, so a tiny bit of a tape that it actually reaches down and presses it. Let's see if that's the case. Here's the thing, here's the broken key, right? Or there's nothing broken, it's just not reaching properly. And when it's in place, you can see that it's pressing, but not enough. So if I release it, then I can easily get it to work. So that is excellent, and what I fashioned is the ultra cheap solution. I took a credit or a business card, and I just cut out a width of this, and now I'm gonna fold it once or twice or thrice, depending on what the depth is that's needed, and then I'm gonna secure it in place right here. This is where you're pressing that cushion until I get a good natural feel, and I close that minute distance that we have until I can actually get it to play. So let's do that. And believe it or not, all it took was the thickness of one business card. So we're talking about a fraction of a millimeter here, and now works perfect. Even if I fold it, I mean, this is so small that even if I fold this one like just on itself, so it's twice this width, it would keep the note stuck. So we're talking about just this tiny, tiny, tiny little offset was enough for it not to pick up, but now it is, and it works perfectly. So now let's just fasten this one onto the key, and hey presto, we're done. Alright, so this is the fix, and that's the depth that was missing. So I used a tiny bit of super glue, and I just kind of dabbed in 4 corners and a little bit in the middle. I don't know why it's picking up. This is not the amount. The shininess is just from the key itself. That's not all super glue. It's just weird shiny stuff. But anywho, yeah, I'm gonna wait for this to kind of cure, because I don't want it to super glue onto the keyboard. And in the meantime, enjoy some osmosis. So, alright, later. Alright, Spores from Space is done. So, and this one is also cured, so that's kind of cool. No stickiness, everything's good. So let's try and put it on carefully. And what do we get? Ha ha ha! That is awesome. Let's put in the rest of the keys and the springs and see if this is done. And presto! Works! And now? Works! Now I have a fully working from a completely fried and totally janky ass Korg MS2000. I end up with a really fully functional and awesome synth, which is super exciting. The only thing is that it has those knobs missing, and finding the replacement ones is just disgusting. People are charging $15 per one knob, and that's just like, I found good replacement ones that I really like, and they're gonna arrive. I'm gonna put in the description below for people who are interested. I'm gonna put the specifications of the replacement knobs. What you're looking for is 6mm D-type shaft for your knobs, and the original dimensions are diameter is 9.5mm and the height is, I believe, 11 or 10 millimeters, so they're quite small. There's no way that you're gonna find the replacement, ideal replacement for that, but there is a way to actually find something that definitely fits the shaft. Oh, and the type is called push fit, or push on fit, or something like that. Anyway, knobs are coming. I'm gonna just replace all the knobs, and then it's gonna even look prettier, because I don't really like the original knobs, to be honest. And yeah, then I have a complete working Korg MS2000, which is awesome. I had Korg Radius before and I really liked it, but there were some shortcomings that were yeah, so I ended up actually selling it. And I'm wondering if the same thing is gonna happen here. I really want to test this thing out thoroughly to see how it sounds and how it behaves, but I fear that it's gonna end up doing or end up having the same fate as Korg Radius, because it I have Korg Z1, and it's really difficult for any other, you know, virtual analog synth to compete with that, because that thing is a complete monster. If you are willing to deal with the shortcomings of the operating system and how slow the operating system is. So that's definitely one of the advantages of Korg MS2000, but I do want to see how it actually sounds, because ultimately, yeah, no matter how good of a user experience it is, it's all about the sound, and it does sound really good. So yeah, well, I'm gonna check this out. For now, I'm gonna say bye-bye and see you in the part 2, where we dive deep into Korg MS2000 and check all of its features, how they work, how it functions, how it sounds, and yeah, to see what's it like. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, because it really does help a lot, and see you soon. Bye!